Alrighty, everyone. Good Saturday evening. It is today's date, September 2nd. It's Labor Day weekend. We are in here back on the El Camino, and today we're just going to try to take care of all the little things that we've yet to do. So we got to get the fuel pump wired up, tighten up everything that's under here as much as we can. Still do not have a starter, unfortunately. Flex plate on this is a little bit wider in diameter, larger in diameter. And so our starter's not gonna work. We tried a couple different ones, but you know, that's the way it goes. Our engine builder, for this one, we thought it was gonna be the same as a previous one that we had for him, but it is a little bit different. So we gotta find the right starter for that. Probably not gonna be something we get to do tonight. But yeah, tighten everything up, fuel pump, and then later on, we've gotta take a look at this thing here. This is one of our other cars that we did a blower on, supercharged LS1, C5, what?
New motor.
New motor, yeah, new motor, everything. Real good looking car, but unfortunately had a little issue, lost the clutch, and there was a bit of smoke, and so we got to figure that out. I think we know what the issue is, hopefully, but you know, we'll figure that out. And yeah, any comments, Bill?
Well, like I was telling you before, we never know what's coming in or what may come in. This was the last minute thing that came in yesterday, and it's here for us to work on it. So we got the El Camino to work on. Now we've got this to look at tonight before we leave. So if there's parts that we need, we can order them and get them on their way. And you know, on Monday, like Labor Day, got another lady dropping off another car. So when we come in Tuesday night, we're gonna have a full house. We're gonna have 4 cars in house and working on them, all of them at the same time. So like I said before, you never know. You got to stay tuned because you never know what we're working on. Always something new, always something going on. It's never the same boring thing, but we're trying to educate you, show you at the same time. And once again, we're still here having fun, so.
Yep. So we're gonna get started, get cracking on the El Camino, see what we can get done on that. And then we'll move over to the Corvette and we'll update you as we go. Alrighty, everyone, it's the end of the evening. You see we got the El Camino over here, just sitting over here. Let's take a look at our list really quick because we are right there. So it looks like we just need fuel pump, center console. We got to replace that, bleed the brakes, tune test, just tighten a couple other things. And then hopefully we can get the right starter in. You'll notice this is on the left here. We're not going to get into this right now until we figure out what we're going to do, because it's got some problems. So that's neither here nor there for right now. We'll let you know if and when. But yeah, El Camino real close to being done. Real excited. pretty productive day. Hoping. What do you think, Bill? Next week, key.
Yeah, I'm figuring early part of next week we should be turning the key in this thing once we get the proper starter for it. Then we'll be setting it up. You guys will be seeing us start it. Make it go vroom vroom.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yep. Well, it's Labor Day weekend. We're gonna get some rest, and we will see you when we see you. Alrighty, everyone. So these are our two shifter console pieces here, and this is from the original for the 4-speed. This is from our new console. We're going to retain this one though, because we've still got the 4-speed. But I'm just going to clean this plastic up here because it is pretty dirty, and since it's out, might as well make it look as nice as this one does. 4 little nuts, pretty easy. So I'm going to get started on that. We've got our old original gear selector window in there, but this is the new bezel, so that's going to look really nice. What is going on, everybody? It is a beautiful Saturday evening, and it's a big day because this El Camino is going to start today. It's been a long time, about a month working on this, but it is going to start today. Very excited. Bill, why don't you explain to the people the little things, couple things we have to do today.
What we got left to do is we got to finalize the fluids, make sure everything's topped off, top off the coolant, top off the trans. We got to finish getting the fuel system finally hooked up. We had the fuel pump hooked up. Now we just got to finalize the lines. Obviously, time runs out here and there, so we're getting back on that. We got to hook up the shifter linkage, and then we're going to be lighting fires. We're going to be cranking this thing over, getting her up and running. Hopefully, within the next couple hours, we're going to have it running. And what'd you say? You figured what, tonight we're going to have this thing running and driving? So stay tuned. We'll probably have a video of this thing running. It'll be a little late. I mean, the birds aren't going to be chirping by the time we leave, but you know. Are you excited? Oh, I'm excited. I want to see this thing run. And I don't care if it's wee hours of the morning when most people are sleeping. We're gonna make some noise and probably wake some people up. It'll be fun. All right, let's get to it. All right, everyone. So the first order of business is getting this fuel pump mounted. I think we're going to put it right in the middle on this frame here. And we're actually going to, the better way to do it, we're going to use nuts and bolts instead of just like some self-tapping screws, just so it's a little bit more secure. And yeah, that'll also give us a lot more room on either side as far as these lines go, because we were thinking about maybe putting it here, but there's not a lot of room on either side. Also, being here, it is clear of the exhaust. Oh, watch out for the light. Yep. Hey, Charlie, I think I'd want to put it in a better spot. How about that? Yep, there you go.
Oh my God. Oh, I thought that was a new hole. I was like, holy shit, that side's like paper.
Jake's over here thinking I'm rotor rooting holes in with like 2 seconds. No.
Next.
Tell everybody that drill short, slow, and I'm over here full speeding this. Sharp drill bits help. hole actually will double as the vent tube. We're going to stick that inside that frame rail so that way it alleviates water and everything else like that getting into the differential. Normally they have that line runs up to the top. They'll have like a two-way cap or whatever on top. That's just there to keep water intrusion and stuff like that, but it allows the differential to vent. Well, now that we made that hole for the fuel pump, we're going to fish a wire up there, fish the bolts through so we got a stronger mount. But that tube is also going to get fed into that hole with a rubber grommet on it so it doesn't cut through it or cut it off. And now it sits inside the frame rail back here, and you won't have to worry about water intrusion or anything else like that.
We like it.
What do we got brewing up here?
Here's another little tidbit. Obviously, we have that bolt that we have to get up through that hole. Jack, if you bring it over here, show them. We have the hole in the bottom of the frame, but we want to put the bolts through the bolt holes. So you're thinking to yourself, how am I going to get up there? Some people use a magnet, stuff like that. Well, here's a little trick that even if you got a home project at home that you're trying to do, doesn't matter whether you're working on cars, home project, trying to sneak a bolt through something, even if you're trying to put a trailer hitch in yourself and you're like, how am I going to get that bolt up there? There's like no way possible. Well, this is how you do it. Grab a piece of mechanics wire or, something that's a real thin piece of wire, bends real easy. And you take and you wrap this around the bolt. Pair of needle nose pliers, whatever you got laying around the house. Not supposed to drop the bolt. And you put this around your bolt like so. And then you just squeeze it a little bit so that way it holds onto your bolt. So now your bolt's not coming out, it's shaking it, wiggling it, dancing it, whatever you want to do, and it's not coming off. So now what you do is you anticipate where you have to go. So I've got to go roughly there, the hole is roughly there. So you make a little bend in the wire like this, so that way when you feed it up through the hole, you got a rough idea of where you need to be, and you got swing room. And you put the bolt in, you dance it up there, and then you just gotta wiggle it until you get it to the hole. And it's not a simple process. I mean, it doesn't happen in 2 seconds. Just be patient with it, and it'll eventually line up. And just like that, the bolt comes through the hole. So now you're thinking to yourself, great, now how am I going to hold that piece of wire, keep that bolt from dropping out of there and not having issues? So what we'll do is put that right there, and you can hold it in place and put a washer and a nut on it. Well, our piece of wire is too long, so real simple way of solving that. Cut the wire in half. So now what you're doing is you're not taking the wire off that bolt is staying there. You got the washer on there so it's not going to fall through, so now you don't have to worry about bumping it, rubbing it, or even nudging it and having it come off. And then you squeeze it like that. So you can see how the wire is not completely around it. Now once it's up there and you get everything where you want, where you got the nut and bolt on it, so you've got the bolt on the back side, you got your wire up there, you got the bolt coming through, the fuel pump's on there, the washer's on there, the bolt's on there. So now you're like, okay, well, I need to get the piece of wire out of the way. Just grab a pair of pliers, side cutters, needle nose, and just yank the wire real hard and it'll come off that bolt. So now your bolt's up where it needs to be.
People are always very intrigued when I tell them.
About what?
Just building cars,
You got a fuel pump mounted.
And there you go. Pump is mounted. All right, so we got this mounted and we just need to, power to it?
Yeah, we gotta change these terminals because I don't like the way these terminals are. Put this in a plastic loom, run this down over to the frame rail and then run the frame rail up. I haven't decided whether we're gonna use an existing hole that's punched in the floor with a rubber grommet to go up inside the car, or if we're just gonna run it all the way to the firewall and go in through there. Depends on how big of a length of wire we want to run, and then got to run that to a power or key ignition power with a fuse. Always put fuses in line. You add stuff to your car, underglow, miscellaneous lights. You want to light up the inside of your car. Anytime you add something extra that you're tapping into the fuse box, put a fuse on it. It protects your car. It protects what it is that you're working with. If it's got a short, you anticipate that something's going to go wrong, and then if you put a fuse in line or when you run wiring, put the plastic lubing on it, anticipate something's going to go wrong eventually. So anticipate for that, try to protect against that, and then you won't have any issues. All right, so when we swap that line, I gotta have this fucking screwdriver under it. Is that gonna pinch?
All right, everyone, we got everything plumbed up here. So the feed to return, just need to put that feed on right there. But everything else is good. You can see the power. We've got it running. Let's see, all the way down here and up. And it actually follows, if you can see that at all. It goes, oop, there we go, through that grommet for the e-brake cable right there. So everything on the underside is done. We just need to go ahead and finish the plumbing up to the carburetor, and we should be good to go. I found $1. Hey, was this car green at one point? I bet you it was. It was a nice green too. They forgot to paint the hinges. Alright, so we're going to test and see if I can use a specific one of these connectors here.
I don't have the power hooked up yet.
Okay, will you?
It is now.
Alright. Let's see here what we got.
Sorry, my fault.
Alright, that means we can use that single spade on its own. Nice. So we've got our power wire here. And I'm going to snip this guy off. Just going to use this inline fuse for it. Like a glove. So you can see, let me see if I can show you here. So we've got it. It's that second red one down. So we'll just zip tie that up so that'll look nice. I'll go ahead and wrap it all in electrical tape and we'll be good to go. Alrighty everyone, fuel pump completed. You can see the fuse, change this out for a 20 amp fuse actually. You can see it's tucked under there nicely. With this kick panel you can't see a thing. This yellow guy here, this car actually has lights underneath, so we're gonna worry about that later. But yeah, should be almost ready to start. Alrighty everyone, we got coolant, we got fuel, we got power, we should have timing, everything else. I think we are ready to go, so we're gonna go ahead and try to fire this thing up.
All right, we're back again. Well, we had kind of a little wind blowing out of our sail here. We thought we had the distributor stab right, and come to find out, we are 180 degrees out, which anybody that's ever done motors and engines and stuff like that, typically you try to get everything lined up. We thought we had it lined up in the correct spot, and unfortunately the distributor has to come back out again. We have to rotate it 180 degrees and put it back in so that we can get proper timing. Other than that, everything else is together, exhaust is together. It's Sunday morning. I think it's like 2:45 Sunday morning. So most of you guys are sleeping. Yep, us crazy guys here, we're still working on cars and trying to get stuff solved. So we will get that distributor yanked out here, rotate it 180 degrees, get it put back in, get the timing back on, and we'll get this thing up and running. Sorry for the delay, but anybody that's ever done this, it's one of the things that you have to go through. It's the steps in the process. So, all right, we're going to get that handled when we come back next on Tuesday, and we'll pick up from there.
2,000 years later.
All right, everybody, here's the downside to when you're tuning a car, old car, and you're doing it inside a building and you don't create airflow. As you can see behind us, it's a little hazy. We kind of had to turn the fan on high and step outside for a little bit. Carburetor's a little rich. Obviously, we just started it up, so we still got to get the carburetor dialed in. We just got the timing, base timing set, so now we got a little fine tuning to do here and there once we get it out running. But I just wanted to show you the reality of, and that's one of the things that we do. We try to show you the reality of what's involved in doing this, and we still have fun. And the biggest thing is, me and Jack both have full-time jobs, so we do this after we get off our full-time jobs. But like I said, you can see behind me, see the haze? That's because she was running just a tad bit rich. Brand new carburetor, still gotta, get the fuel mixture screws dialed in.
Slight exhaust leak.
Yeah, we got a slight exhaust leak. We got no oil leaks, we got no coolant leaks, so that's always a plus. So we just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of something that, you don't see behind the scenes. This is one of the things, welcome to Behind the Scenes Antiks Garage. So yeah, we got a little bit of tuning left to do. It's hot right now. We're letting it do a hot soak. We took the manual choke off the car, put electric choke on. That's working the way it should and everything else like that. Now we're letting it do a 5-10 minute hot soak. Then we'll go back over, turn the key, make sure she fires up and everything's good, because we may have to adjust the choke a little bit if it's too high or too low. And that's pretty much, we just gotta let it air out now and then we can get back to work. All right, everybody. I'm sure in the video you saw me using a test light, putting it in here on the spark plug wires. What I was checking is it was running a little rough. Obviously we didn't tune the carburetor yet, but I just wanted to make sure we had fire on all the cylinders. On these old school cars, when you've got access to get to the spark plug wires and you got a test light handy, you got a header running and it's hot and the engine's hot and stuff like that, but you want to check for spark. Well, some of these plug wires are pretty hard to get to. So easiest way to do it on these old school, even especially the GMs or anything that you can actually get a test light, put a little bit of silicone on the end, spray silicone, WD-40, whatever you got so it can slide in. And you slide it in underneath the spark plug boot, but you don't want to puncture the wire. And you slide it in, and what it'll do is, because you're hooked up to ground, what it will do is actually cut the spark from going to the spark plug wire down to the spark plug. So if you've got a miss in that cylinder, you put it in there and you don't get a change in the way the engine's running, then you know that you've got an issue on that spark plug wire. So it could be either a wire, could be a spark plug. Just a real quick, simple check, something easy you got laying around. Sometimes you don't have a test light. Sometimes you got just a cotter pin and a piece of wire. That'll do the same thing as long as it's touching ground.
All right, everyone. We're calling today a big success. It's going to be the end of our night, end of this video. We've got a couple more things to do. I'm happy. Bill's happy. Peggy Sue's especially happy.
Yeah, she decided to come over while we were starting to do some tuning. She had to have a look inside. So we don't know where Jethro's at, but Peggy Sue's here checking it out. So we're okay with that.
Yeah. So next video, Bill, what do we got next? What's left?
Next video is we're going to be doing the fine tuning. We're going to get this thing out on the road, get the base timing set, just check it a little bit more, make sure we're right where we want to be. And then it's going to be the funs of the ins and outs, because now we're going to take it out on the street, do a parking lot run, once we got the cam broke in, when we get back, get that broke in, got a little bit more time to put on that. So it's about another 20 minutes, 25 minutes, get that cam broke in, get the motor fully broken now that we got the tune, semi-decent. Then we'll start doing parking lot runs, make sure we ain't got any bog or anything else like that. And then we'll start taking it out on the street, actually, winding it out or, opening it up a little bit. Make sure there's no bog when we stand on it or anything else like that. Make sure the trans downshifts and everything. And we're going to bring you the videos of us doing the road test. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And it'd be like sitting in the passenger seat of the car and you sitting at the privacy of your own home.
You get to come along.
Just enjoying watching us have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so that's the end of this one. Please remember, like, comment, subscribe. Again, we really appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next time.